What's up, gamers, and welcome back for more WotC-20. We have a bonus match this week. This matchup is going to be Do the Wave versus Aero Chansey, a build I'm familiar with and haven't seen in a bit, so this should be a fun one. A very tempo aggro deck on the left in Do the Wave, and a very stally, board breaky, locky kind of deck in Aero Chansey. So it will be two very different play styles. Looks like Do the Wave gets turn 1 and will immediately discard a Wigglytuff and a Double Gust for a computer search. With that Sabrina's Abra in the active, there are no other Sabrina Abra cards, or Sabrina cards in general, in this deck. That card is just there to be a free retreater and maybe deal 20 damage with Energy Loop. We'll see what gets grabbed out of Comp Search here in just a second. Looks like it was a Tyrogue. Tyrogue seeing a lot of play in this deck and some decent amount of success. Coin flipping being even and all. And that's a Grass Attach for turn. Gonna see about that double heads. And that's one heads on Cleffa. Oh my gosh, it's a double heads on Cleffa. That is going to be a turn 1 knockout. You can attack turn 1 in WotC-20. And you can also support her turn 1. So that pulls in Chansey. Healing Field comes down. Aero Chansey on the back foot immediately. Lots of energy in hand. Cyclone will pull the Abra in, but remember that's a free retreater, and it is a pass, so lots of energy, an energy charge in the hand, which is useless right now, as well as a trader with nothing to target in the hand to go and trader out something like another Cleffa. So Tyrogue taking a very early KO, prizing now 5-6. Usually this Aero Chansey deck wants to get out Aerodactyl as soon as possible. Tyrogue coming in, hitting a heads with Smash Punch, so Chansey already dealt 60 damage because it's super effective. Healing Field is down though. And let's see, not sure it was drawn off the top there, but it was Trader. It was the Ammonite. So that Ammonite is usually used to be kind of a repetitive fossil egg, if you will. And Trader will pull out Cleffa. So that Ammonite is from Neo Discovery. Fossil Revive when it is on your bench at least or in play. Once per turn, you can flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for a card that evolves from Mysterious Fossil and put it on your bench. So you treat that as a basic. It means it can pull out Aerodactyl, which is very strong in this format. But we are not going to see that engine pop off in the first few turns here. Looks like Chansey will get a Warp Energy and come to bench with Cleffa. I did not see what the Healing Field roll was as I was reading off Ammonite, but I do believe that Chansey is still at 60 HP from what I can see here. Hard to read the die. Back to Do the Wave now. Just gonna go for a Smash Punch. Nothing else to do. Alright, heads on the baby rule. But tails on the actual Smash Punch attack. That would have been extremely tilting had that happened. Water Energy to Cleffa here. Still a lot of energy in hand. Looks like we're going to go for an Eek. And it is good, so hopefully Aero Chansey can find some means of stabilization here. And another Comp Search off the top. Looks like there is a Tuff in hand, but no Jigglypuff yet. Computer Search discarding Metal and Grass Energy. So 2 energy to the bin, worth noting. Let's see what they go fetch here. Looks like it'll be just a single Jigglypuff. You can expect that to come down, get an energy attached. We'll see Tuff soon. Now if you're curious about the water energy being represented in the Chansey deck, that is so that if, God forbid, Ammonite is active and needs to attack, it can. Looks like that was another Smash Punch for double heads, so 2 Cleffas in the bin, 2 prizes taken for Tuff. That is pretty brutal. Second Chansey joins the bench off of that Eek. It looks like we are scrunching. Oh, nope, that is not scrunch, that was for Healing Field. Now there's a Metal Energy attached, that'll certainly help. Looks like a Fossil Egg. So this could just pull Aerodactyl out of the bench, or onto the bench right now, but it is a Tails. That's how it goes with Fossil Egg. There's an oak in hand. Consider it if you're playing Aero Chansey right now. Nothing wrong with oaking when things are this bad. It's 4 energy to the bin, but... No, it's 3 energy to the bin. Forget about energy charge. It also has another name, power charge, depending on what Aero printing you have of it. And a fresh 7 to the hand, grabbing item finder, computer search, gust, warp, another metal. So we're about to see Metal Chansey come into full play here. Of course, going to need some better healing with this Tyrogue up front. We're going to see a finder discarding warp and a gust. And that's going to go fetch Fossil Egg. Going to try again to get the lockdown. Doesn't want to see Wigglytuff come active. Good roll. It's a heads. Aerodactyl's going to come out. So remember, it's treated as a basic here. And as you can see, there was also Clairvoyant Ammonite run in this list, which is a great splash. Lets you just stare at your opponent's open hand as long as it's on the field. You can keep it benched. It's cheat outable with the other Ammonite. Also, this deck does run Underground Lake from the e-reader sets. That is another way to get your Ammonites looped from bin to bench if you are using a lot of item finders or comp searches. And Chansey will attempt a scrunch here, but first it has to hit through Baby Rule. No scrunching, but also no evolution now that Aero is down. So Jigglypuff can pound for 20 if it really wants to. So I believe that Chansey's at 40. Smash Punch here would do 50 because there is a metal energy attached to Chansey. It looks like he's going for it. It is a heads. That deals 50. Chansey will go up to 90. So even with metal, double-edging this Tyrogue next turn would be ill-advised. It would be a double knockout, though, and maybe that's the stability needed, because as long as Tyrogue is up, Chansey is not the indomitable wall that it usually represents. Healing Field attempt. And it's good, so that heals 20. That'll certainly help. And we'll see a comp search come down. Curious if we'll see that other metal attach. I still think Chansey would... Can't see the dice, but I think Chansey would survive with 10 HP if it did hit the Tyrogue with double edge and 2 metal attaches at this very moment. Goldberry comes out, that'll help. So now we're seeing a lot of healing, which is exactly what this deck wants to do when the lock is up. Keep Chansey alive and swinging for 60 damage. Assuming you have 2 metal with double edge there. Dealing 40 to yourself is not maintainable, but it usually is if your opponent can only front basics. And we will see that second metal as we were talking about, so Chansey should survive its own double edge here. 1 card in hand for Aero Chansey right now. Really putting it all on the line to try to take out this baby. Double edge attempting. And it is good. Taking out that Tyrogue, it's huge. That is a prize for Aero Chansey. It'll pop Goldberry. And Sabrina's Abra is promoted active. So Chansey would have taken 40, but the Goldberry also heals 40, so they're not moving the dice at all, but the 40 would not have knocked it out. It would have been up to 110 maximum, so playing a fine line there. Computer search coming down, putting another Wigglytuff in the bin, along with the Warp Energy. Worth noting, you could gust in the Aerodactyl. It would have difficulty getting out of the active with a retreat cost of 2. Obviously, Aero Chansey is running some Warp Energy to help with scenarios like that, but if you could Lullaby it and it sleeps for 2 turns, you can evolve again. Sleep would shut off its power. Once again, here we see Shaman in hand with Cleffa and Psychic Energy. Pulling out another Tyrogue with that computer search is brutal if it hits heads here on Smash Punch, and it does. That's going to be a clean knockout, I believe. No? What were we down to? We're at 110. 70. Okay, well, I just can't see the dice then. Looks like that Chansey is now at 10 remaining HP. Oak coming down off that item finder. And into another Oak, so we'll see if that matters. There's a Fan Club, a DCE, and Ammonite. But at this point, what you really want to be relying on are your Chanseys. I would say here, you just go for the double knockout. You can always build up another Chansey. Abra's not going to hurt it, Jigglypuff's not really going to hurt it. DCE onto Chansey number 2 on the bench there. And a lot of cards in hand, none really pertinent though. Buried Fossil comes down, that's a nice red holo. Technically protects against the other arrow getting shut off or something, you could always evolve into a fresh one. So then the Lullaby lock we were talking about earlier wouldn't matter if there were 2 arrows down. Then what I believe is the correct play there, hitting the Oak again, dumping the hand that didn't look useful anyway, getting more things onto the bench, getting more energy into your hand. There's always the Town to be if you're pitching too hard. You can always slow down later, but Aero Chansey really needs more things powered up that can trade with these Tyrogues. Doing a quick bin check here. Alright, skipping the healing field roll because it apparently won't save anything. Goes for the double edge. Very worthwhile double knockout in my opinion. So both sides prize up. Prizing is 3 to 4 in favor of Do the Wave, but no Do the Wave will be happening here from what we can see. Now there's another comp search in hand. Not sure how many Tyrogues are running this build or if we're going to see instead a Town V to grab those 2 Tyrogues back, but Tyrogue definitely looking like the way to go. Worth noting too, oh, there is another Tyrogue. Is that the 3rd Tyrogue? I think it is. And Desert Shaman hitting what was a big hand for Aero Chansey. Both sides pitch their hands into the deck, draw fresh 4. So these Tyrogues won't go away, and worth noting too, the KogaBats in this Do the Wave build can hit Aerodactyl for super effective damage, and would only need 3 Zubats in play to get a knockout. You can see a Mime in hand for Aero Chansey. That is not in my version of the build. Might come in handy here though, because Tyrogue has been a menace. The only thing that could hit Mime would be Jigglypuff. Cyclone Energy on Tyrogue is going to hit the Buried Fossil, and it's a heads on Smash Punch, discarding that Buried Fossil for a prize, which is too bad. Mysterious Fossil is not a prize giver, but it's only got 10 HP. Buried Fossil has 30 and a cool ability. So I would rather run Reconstruction with Buried Fossil myself. Energy Charge coming in. Also called Power Charge in the e-reader print, but that was a tail, so that's a good way to recover metal, or recycle or warp, but typically you recover metal and DCE with it in this build. Going for an Eek. Eek is a tails, Mime on bench. So Wigglytuff is back into the hand for Do the Wave, but Again, Aerodactyl's down, that prehistoric power keeping the lock going. Just going for a smash punch. First rolls of tails, passes back. And there's the Town V for Aero Chansey. So what are you looking for here? Probably want some energy. Looks like we're going for a Mime power-up with the Psychic. That's why the Psychic's in there. I like the Mime Splash. Grabbing a Chansey. Ooh, an Aero as well being grabbed. Looks like a pre-release Aero. Very nice. They're all pre-release Aeros, actually, from what I can tell. And a Water Energy. So energy, as well as Aero, as well as Chansey. There's that Zubat in hand. We'll see how this goes. Prizing still 2-4 in favor of Do the Wave. Attempting to Eek again. It's good. So Town V into Eek, not bad. See what cards show up. Another Comp Search in hand for Do the Wave here. Smash Punch coming in. First dice is a heads. Second heads takes out that Cleffa. Recycle can come to hand at least, but that will put us down to one prize required to win the game for Do the Wave. Chansey coming up. And drawing for turn here. Is there another DCE to just double edge this Tyrogue into the bin? I don't see a computer search to go and fetch one. Another Chansey to the bench. There is a DCE. How did I not see that?
I think it's that 5.
Yeah. Alright. Double edge attempt. Big roll. It's good. Great knockout. All 3 prizes for Aero Chansey coming off of Tyrogue knockouts. Chansey dealing 80 to itself. Currently no way to deal 40 that I can see for Do the Wave here. Only one prize needed though. Prizing is 1-3 in favor of Do the Wave.
Yeah, it's complete Tyro.
Quick bin check here. Lots of comp searches. I know there's 2 in the bin at least and 1 in the hand, so have not been counting them diligently, but there's 3 if not 4 in build. ER hitting a DCE, that's fine though, at least the Tyrogue is gone. And here comes a KogaZubat, it will gain a DCE. Wigglytuff coming in to hit Chansey for 20. So Chansey up to 100 damage, so gotta heal it or get it out of active. Rolling for Healing Field. Healing Field is a Tails. But there is a Goldberry in hand, so that'll take it off the table for a knockout next turn for Tough. Psychic attaches to Mime, good to get that going. Attempting a scrunch, staying active, but scrunches at tails. That's fine though. Berry pops in between turns. Chansey will go down to 60 HP remaining. And there's a Grass Energy off the top for this Zubat. Could always comp for it, of course, but I do believe there is a kill available on board right now. Yep. Oh. Nope. Could have used that computer search for the gust to hit the Aerodactyl. Instead, that will be clutched. Zubat will pull out 2 Zubats with group attack. That'll deal 30, so Chansey goes up to 90 damage. So missed lethal there. That's fine. Maybe there's no more Gust in deck. Lots of Recycle in hand for Aero Chansey. Mime now fully powered up with that Recycle attached for turn. Healing Field rolled for. It's good. Chansey healed down to 70 total damage on it. And I think we should see it come on out. But first a computer search. Probably going to pitch some energy if I have to guess here. Yeah, Psychic Energy and a Cleffa. Only 1 prize left. Doesn't feel like eking. Hand's okay. Mr. Mime looks pretty good though. Invisible Wall is its Pokemon power, and whenever an attack, including your own, does 30 or more to Mr. Mime, prevent that damage outright. Other effects still happen, and the power can't be used if Mime is asleep, confused, or paralyzed, but it will wall many things, including Zubat right now, including Sabrina Zabra, because super effective energy move would deal 40. The only thing on board that could damage Mr. Mime would be Jigglypuff. And with a healing field down, maybe you feel okay about taking that risk. The only problem is Jigglypuff resists Mime, so Mime would have trouble dealing damage to Jigglypuff. Considering a warp with that comp search, that's probably going to be used on the Chansey instead of retreating out. Question is there enough healing left in deck with gold berries and item finders to not solely have to rely on healing field to get that Chansey back to an attacking amount of health, thanks to Double Edge. Mime will come in. Mime will meditate for 20 because it is super effective, otherwise it would deal 10, and remember Meditate does 10 plus 10 more for each damage counter on the defending, so it will be a knockout next turn. And here we go, this is a computer search, assumedly going to get a Gust. Pitching Abra, pitching Cleffa, and there's the double Gust selected, so that will be a super effective knockout for a game on the Aerodactyl. Oh, hello. Oh, I see, okay. That didn't really matter. Double Gust, even if you gusted the Jigglypuff, you could just free retreat. Well, not free retreat, but you have a DCE, just retreat. And that'll pull an Arrow. Zubat comes in. Group attack for knockout. That'll be game. So thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll catch you next time.